Hey there, all you creepers and reapers. Welcome to another episode of the Femme Fatalities. I'm your co-hostess, Anna, and I'm here with...
Hey, Grieflings and Frightlings, it's Margaret, and this is probably going to be a quick episode because Anna and I would like to put this movie to rest. We don't want it to haunt us, and Anna, I don't know about you, but I'm going to say this is the first movie that I don't even think I could rate. So those of you that follow me on Instagram or subscribing to my Substack, little plug here, I am reviewing all the movies that I watch with Anna, and I watch a lot of horror movies. So just to share that with you, because I got all this movie information in my head, I could not rate this one. It is so horrible. It was painful to watch. I think this is the first horror movie that I don't have anything good to say. Anna.
It's definitely... I don't know why I loved it when I was a kid, probably because I really wasn't paying that much attention to it. But it's different. And I think that when you get into franchise films, sometimes as they go on and on and on, they get worse and worse and worse. We were talking none other than Jason Takes Manhattan, aka Friday the 13th Part 8. For me, I feel like this one and Jason Goes to Hell, they're kind of tying with each other. But it's really from the start of the film to the end. I know for me, I've been seeing a lot of people talking on social media and different platforms about how terrible this film was. And Margaret and I were talking about it, and we're like, oh, maybe we should rewatch it. And indeed, they were right.
I wanted to prove them wrong. I don't know about you. I went into this movie, I was like, I'm going to prove people wrong. And then nobody. So people in my life, my daughter, my boyfriend, will often be like, what movies do you have to watch for your cast? And then they will say, I want to watch that with you. This is the first movie. They're both like, have fun. No, that's the worst movie ever. I was like, you don't, they're like, no, horrible. So yes, Anna and I were like, and I wanted to find the dog. The dog is something that makes this movie worthwhile.
Yeah, and I think, like, honestly, if the end would have been completely different, so you know, the whole like sewer underwater scene where somehow Jason is magically transformed into little Jason, okay, great, but then after that happens, it should stop. The paramedics should arrive, revive him. He goes with a foster family or gets adopted, and then that summer they go on vacation to Camp Crystal Lake, and it starts again. Dun dun dun. Look at that. I could have written it.
Yes, I love that ending. When you shared that with me, I'm like, that would have made that movie so much better because and at first, like, she's grieving. So I'm like, all right, we got some grief here. I can work with this. And then her whole grief story didn't even make sense because didn't her parents die in a car accident, but she's having nightmares about drowning, but maybe she's having nightmares about Jason but she really did drown.
Yeah, and I think it was like whenever they wrote the script, they're like, okay, well, Friday the 13th Part 7, our protagonist has telekinesis, so maybe this protagonist will have telepathy. But it just didn't. It did not pan out as I think that they had hoped or expected.
Yeah, it missed some consistency, some congruence. Like when the two guys, so, right, if you guys haven't watched it, they're on a boat, kills some people, they end up in Manhattan. Then these two stereotypical, I'm going to say a bit maybe a racist with the two guys that are going to take her and kidnap her. They give her drugs, and for like 5 minutes, she's hallucinating, and then she's fine again. I was
like that.
No. Yes.
Yeah. And
her dog just disappears throughout the movie and then comes back at random times.
Yeah, it's just a lot of it does not make sense. It's consistently inconsistent. The only kind of grief-ish thing that I could find in the whole thing was when Jason comes across like the little gangbanger stereotype, whatever, at the time. And they're like, oh, don't mess with us, and they just think he's like some tall, weak guy, and then he lifts his mask up, and they're like, oh my god. How often during the grief journey do we wear a mask, right? And we only let a few people see who we really are, but that's all I've got for Thanatology on this one, because something else.
Yeah. Not a good movie.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like, we still love Jason. And, it's fine. Not everyone can be a winner.
Yep.
That's
No.
okay.
Yes. Yep. So watch it. Enjoy the kills.
Yeah.
I guess,
kind of. What you think. Or don't. If it's totally up to you. But I say put it on your movie bucket list, watch it once, and you can say you've seen it. You never have to watch it again. What do you think, Margaret?
I'd say put it in when you're doing like a Friday the 13th marathon and you decided to watch all of them, and then you get to watch that one and Jason Goes to Hell, and then you're like, okay, so I watched all the Friday 13th, and
yeah,
you don't ever have, like Em said, then you don't even have to watch it again.
Yeah, and then you're just done skis, and that's it.
Yep, that's it. That's a quick little cast today.
Yes, that's our advice to you.
Yes.
Well, thank you for taking the time to listen. We hope that you found this entertaining. If you love Friday the 13th Part 8, tell us why. We're really interested to know. Maybe we're missing out on some greatness that we've overlooked. So, and if you don't like it, tell us why. We'd love to know that too.
Yes. Thank you for listening.
Until next time, drink your Bruja Brew and eat those coffin cookies. Bye-bye.
Bye.